This table is horrible.
Smell that drawer.
I just shit on his table.
Because it's a shit table. I mean, I get it now.
Table.
Mark,
Johnny,
my man.
what's happening?
How you been?
I've been tired and sleepy.
I feel you. You gotta. Well, we don't even have to talk about that.
What, the baby?
Yeah, the baby. I didn't know if you want to talk.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it now.
Baby.
Yeah, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah,
right now.
We'll do this quick, and then you can tell her 3 hours. I got a couch in there you can crash on.
You know what? That's so nice of you.
No,
I'm gonna tell her 5.
Yeah, no, tell her tomorrow.
Yeah, come pick me up tomorrow.
Go pick me up Thursday, baby.
It's a 24-hour podcast.
Yeah, no, that's how we do it. We got to see who can stay awake the longest.
I'm a lose.
Yeah, because I'm used to it at this point.
Oh yeah. How old are your kids?
My youngest is 9. My oldest is 9, 11, and 14.
That's business phone. We're gonna ignore
We're closed.
That? Okay, fuck it.
So let it ring. Yeah, they can.
I should answer it, and then they'll be confused.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening?
Let me see who it is.
I definitely do that. I'm all about fucking up people's work. Important?
No.
Did you just hang up on him?
Huh?
Did you hang up on him?
No, I just
Muted it.
basically.
Oh, okay,
yeah. So
you send it to somebody else.
No, there is nobody else. So
Oh, it's
I
just
guess
you?
I guess I did hang up on him.
Wait a minute. So let me get this straight. That's funny. You're the only dispatcher when you work.
When I dispatch, I'm the only one that does. Monday, Tuesday, I work from open to close dispatching. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, I do other things.
Okay.
Sign restaurants, run deliveries, menu updates, help drivers with flat tires.
Yeah.
You name it, I do it.
So you're the man.
I am the man. That's
you
right.
are the man. The people that my ancestors have been talking about.
Correct.
In the
Yeah.
80s movies,
The one
70s
that
movies.
you shouldn't be here right now. Is
Hey, fuck it,
basically
man.
what-
You know, I'm trying to bridge the gap because y'all got the money, we got the crime. I'm just playing.
Man, that show. All right. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Terrible Table Podcast. I got my boy Mark Pugh in here.
What's happening? This is my first episode on the new podcast.
This is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It is. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it changed.
It's changed so many times. I'm still trying to find my legs. You know, it was my podcast, His Man Cave.
Yep.
And then it really didn't have a name. It was just, His Man Cave Productions.
Right.
And then I met Chris and Nick.
Right. Yeah.
And Chris was over here in the first 5 minutes he was over here. He was like, "This table's terrible," and that's kind of where it started.
Wait, that is a perfect impression.
Yeah.
Say something else.
This table, man. When I tell jokes and no one laughs, it's like, huh? Do you not get it, man?
Keep going.
That's it.
That is his voice.
Man, I love Chris to pieces, man.
Yeah, that's my boy.
But
man.
yeah, he shit all over my table first 5 minutes I met the man.
Yeah, that's what he does.
So that's kind of like I made fun of it,
Yeah.
throughout the episode when we were talking,
Right.
and then it just kind of stuck. So, and I'm trying to find like a lane.
Okay.
So not just
Are you prepared?
to a degree, yeah,
Oh, shit.
to a degree.
Okay.
So I'm trying to
Professional.
figure out how have you ever seen the Are You Garbage podcast?
Yeah.
So they ask you questions like to find out if you were raised garbage.
For sure.
Right.
Right.
So I thought, how could I have something that is like a lane that I'm in? Like Hot Ones, they do hot food.
Right.
YMH is kind of like the internet videos, which, I tried that for a little while, but all you guys got depressed at all the death and shit that I brought to the table.
It was crazy.
Well,
Somebody's head came off. I was like, oh,
hey,
shit.
yeah, and I laughed, you know what I mean? And it's not everybody wants to see that, and I can't show it on you,
Right.
So what I thought of is...
Let me guess. It's like, did your grandma have a terrible table too?
No,
Is that what you're trying
not
to
quite,
Okay.
not quite. I'm thinking more nostalgia.
Oh, shit, I love
So
that.
I ask like old school questions.
Yeah.
Like I want to start with an old school word, like this old school word. You ready?
Okay.
Chillax.
Chillax?
When was the last time you used chillax, if ever?
I've never used the word chillax.
You ever been
I've
told
heard
to
it.
chillax?
Yeah. By a very old police officer that didn't know how to talk to young black kids.
He was trying to be cool.
Yeah, he was trying to be cool.
Chillax, young man.
He was like, no.
Excuse me, young man. I need to see your identification. Please, chillax.
Shit. Man, you say chillax to the wrong black dude that's trying to do something bad, you might end up dead.
Yes, I can see that happening. Yeah.
it's
Well,
sad.
so I think one of the words I used was weather.
Oh, from well, I don't want to say it's from that, but it was around the times.
Yeah,
was that Scary Movie?
Well,
Oh,
it was
no,
the Budweiser commercials.
It was a
or Bud
Budweiser.
Light, Budweiser,
One
of the
those.
two.
Yeah, and then they made a parody of it with
Correct. Yeah.
Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2. Yeah, he's got that mask and the mask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the tongue.
Weather.
Yeah.
That's just so stupid.
Great
so,
movie.
but like one of the words was rad.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, anybody that's watching this is sick and tired of like, we know what you're trying to do, dickhead. So,
Yeah.
but I don't want to just talk.
For sure.
Because I don't think I'm interesting enough. I think, some of the guests that I have might be interesting enough, but
I think you really are. I think you're. I don't know what to say. You're being too humble, or you maybe just not be aware because you live with yourself. But you're an
Yeah.
interesting dude. You just spent like 10 minutes telling me how to build a sign because you have like random infinite knowledge.
what did my dad used to say? I know. I'm full of free information worth every penny you pay for it.
God damn. Is your
My
dad still around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's crazy as hell, but he's still around.
He sounds like a wise man.
The
that does a
hippie.
lot. He's a hippie?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
What?
Man, we've never talked about my dad.
I think we have.
Yeah,
Because
no-
I remember last time we really talked, you were
Health wise.
Yeah.
He's had a few
Okay.
strokes, heart attack or two, ulcer. He's getting old.
sound like my mom.
Yeah, he's getting up there, and when my uncle calls, I kind of get a pit in my stomach. That's kind
I
of,
got you.
but he's okay.
For sure.
He's ornery as hell, not mean, but like stuck in his ways. He doesn't want to go to the doctor or hospitals and stuff. So, hell, the last time he went, they called that my uncle called and was like, I had to send your dad to the hospital, and I was like, all right, where'd you send him? They sent him to LSU, and I was like, as soon as I can get off, I'll head that way.
Yeah.
So I ended up closing the site down early and
Real.
running up there to try to see what was up. I go into the emergency room and they were like, oh, we just put him out on the street, and I was like, you did what?
What the fuck?
And they were like, yeah, we just put him in the parking lot, and I was like, he got brought in with an ambulance from having chest pains.
Yeah.
And he's like 72 years old,
Uh-huh.
and y'all just put him on the street. It's like 103 degrees outside.
Nah,
Is this
During
what we're
the
doing?
daytime?
It's at 7:30,
That's
8ish.
still too hot. That's crazy.
And I go out there and I'm like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, man. And then come to find out, he AMA'd himself
What is that?
against medical advice. So, but he didn't tell me, and it was like, son of a bitch. You
So
know
he
what I
just
mean?
does whatever.
Yeah, he's just crazy old man.
That's what's up.
So, but yeah, he's the hippie man. He looks like Tommy Chong.
For real.
Yeah, big time, like old school smoker. I remember like some of my oldest memories are like doing road trips and my dad riding crisscross applesauce with a bong, bubbly, in the back seat.
What?
Yeah, long hippie hair. You know what I mean?
Why is he not on the podcast?
He has been on one.
He
I
has?
got him on one.
You please send me
Before
that episode.
I think before he had his. I think it was before he had a stroke. I think it was after he had his heart attack before he had a stroke.
Wow.
So, because I was like, I got to get you on here and tell some of these crazy ass stories that you
Yes.
got, because he has a bunch of them.
For real.
Yeah, he used to sell weed in the army, and he used to smuggle pills across the border.
What the fuck?
My dad's
Your
got
dad
some, and just crazy, wild and crazy stuff.
What's his name?
Larry Gates.
Larry Gates.
Yep,
Fucking cool ass name. Larry Gates is a cool name.
that's my pops. Everybody called him the hippie.
With a name like Larry Gates, you're either like extremely how he is, or like he's like some kind of tycoon with billions of dollars.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's the two.
Yeah, definitely not the tycoon.
He's a tycoon.
Yeah.
Whatever he does, he doesn't have the billions of dollars, but he makes up for it in life.
So, but here, let me give you an example of one of the
Alright.
questions that I want to ask. All right, so how about this? Starter jacket.
Love him.
Did you ever have one? What was your favorite?
Not really. I have a. It's a brand that's kind of like Starter. I can't think of the name of it, but it starts with a P. It's a Notre Dame Irish windbreaker.
Okay.
But it's in the it came out in
Right.
the 90s. It's the same. It was kind of like a competing brand.
Okay.
But yeah, I love them.
I had the white Michigan State Wolverines one.
Ooh.
It got jacked from me. It got
Really?
let. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We were marching in band,
Okay.
and it was left in the band office.
Oh, no.
And when I got back,
teacher got your shit,
somebody
bro.
had got me for it. Yeah, but it was clean. Everybody wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
we should start wearing them again.
yeah,
It's hard to find them.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
But crisp white. I did everything I could to keep that thing clean. You know, saying no seed burns on it, nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah, kept it clean, and somebody jacked me for it.
Starter jackets, they're snapbacks. I remember when that came back in what, like not early, but like 2011, 12, and they kind of died off in 2015, 16. But those are the best hats.
What are they called? Snapbacks?
Yeah, the snapbacks. Yeah, but made by certain people.
Are you talking about the ones that like have the adjustable back?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard them called snapbacks.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I've just heard that's hats, adjustable.
Oh,
there's fitted and not fitted is all I've ever heard.
Oh no. Fitted hats were big in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and I had to buy. You see this bucket head of mine?
What size were you?
I think like a.
I
want to say like an 8 or a 7 3/4 or something like that. I was a big headed son of a bitch. But I quit wearing hats a long time ago.
For real, why is that?
I don't know. The only hat I've worn in, honestly, like 25 years would be a safari style hat.
Oh, like Indiana Jones or something?
Yeah, kind of like cutting grass.
Oh, I got you.
Or hiking.
The ones where it's kind of like it's made out of nylon and then like net and stuff like that. I got you.
Yeah, for just keeping the sun off your neck and your face.
Yeah.
And
like a real dad hat, not the cap.
And it was for cutting grass and when we would go hiking.
Exactly,
that'd be the only time that I'd wear them.
For sure.
So, but other than that, I didn't like the ring that they left on my fat ass head.
Oh, they left a ring on your head?
Yeah, because I got a big ass head. Even a big 8, an 8, it's still.
It's big, but you're not a small person. Like if I had your size head on my body,
you'd be tipping up. You'd be
like my damn kid,
about like your baby, right?
Yeah. She actually has a strong ass neck. It might be from my mama's side of the family because I was a loose neck ass baby when I was little, bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
I had to put a belt on my head and tie it to my shoulders.
That's funny. I remember having my kid in one of those bouncy things.
Yeah, that is the funniest.
Is that thing gonna snap? Holy shit!
Bro, baby's about to die is the funniest shit. That is the funniest shit.
It is. I used to scare my mom because I would throw my kid up in the air. And,
for real?
Catch it. Yeah, my mom had huge ceilings, like tall ceilings.
Okay.
And I took my son. I was like, man, these ceilings are big. Yeah. And I launched him, and my mom lost it. You know what I mean? I threw him. I bet I threw him 12 feet in the air.
For real?
Yeah, and he just.
They don't care about danger at all until maybe. I don't know if it's because like somebody, maybe it's a mom or a grandmother, somebody like introduces it like, oh my God. Like I don't know if they're scared because of that or they just kind of realize, oh, I can. Maybe it's once they get hurt, they're like, okay.
I think that's what it is.
That might be it. Yeah.
Because I know my son jumped out of an attic once and
On
just
purpose?
trusted that I would catch him.
Oh.
Yeah, I was standing at the bottom of it, and it was like, there he is.
Yeah.
I'm glad I love you. You know what I mean? Like, you better be glad my attention is on you.
Yeah. Lights out.
Yeah.
Damn, that is.
But yeah, now they seem to back off once they get hurt a couple of times.
That good old trauma.
Yeah. Hell, my wife used to throw my kid to me across the bed.
Really?
Like he'd go. God, it was no big deal. We just catch him and keep on walking.
Well, that's different from me because we were just at the park with the baby and she was trying to be funny. She goes. She's like catch, and then but you know how you do catch and then throw. She's like catch in one motion, and then she's mad because she was playing. She goes catch. And she's like, why you didn't catch that? What are you talking about? I have the stroller and I'm watching for animals. We at the park.
At the park, yeah.
And she just catch. And then she's mad at me because I didn't catch.
You didn't catch. You just let your baby hit the ground?
No, she didn't throw.
I know. I know you. Yeah. I don't think we'd be doing this right now.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can get some sleep. Like, go to the hospital.
Yeah, please.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
But it's wild, bro. I didn't expect to have kids because I was trying to chase dreams and make stuff happen. But I couldn't have had the best accidental family.
That's what's
up. I
up.
couldn't have asked for a better accidental family.
And it might be one of those things that pushes you to get to where you wanted to be, where maybe before you weren't pushing as hard.
What's interesting about that? Like, people have told me that because I kind of went through a little situation before she got here. I was just trying to figure stuff out, and a lot of people told me, you never know, it might be the push you need. But I was like, I don't agree. Like, I understand when people say that, but I didn't need a push because I had pretty much. It was the only thing I was doing. Like, not to sound weird or whatever. Like, I sold my house.
Right.
I lost my car, and I was basically living with Clyde for a few months. because I was staying with Clyde and because he stays here for, he had personal family, so that's the reason why he moved back. So he allowed me, because we were doing a comedy thing together.
Right.
And
that was the Don't Die thing, right?
Yeah, that, and just going on the road together and all this stuff. So
I guess I didn't realize that.
No, we would just because, bro, it all happens in a weird way. And I'm not a religious person or superstitious, but I can see why people are, because it just felt like everything lined up perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sold my house to do this stuff, but I had a second mortgage I didn't know about. I thought I did something, but I did something else when I signed some paperwork. So I had 2 loans, so that ate up the money I was going to take with me to move. The second time I tried to go to Austin. So I was supposed to go to Austin 3 years ago. So that stuff kept happening.
Right.
So then I got the little money from that. I lost my car with another situation. I moved back in with my parents because I couldn't move out of the what I want, like I wanted to. But then me and my parents got into it. So then I was almost saying my baby mama, but my girl at the time, we weren't together. We were just cool because she does comedy too. I met her in Dallas, and at the time, she let me stay out in Dallas because I had pretty much nowhere to go. So I just ended up staying with her, and then I moved back to Shreveport with Clyde because we were just doing so many shows, and I'm coming back and forth. And I was like, hey, instead of you having to drive from Shreveport to Dallas, telling Clyde, we just ended up making me staying in Shreveport with him work. But all we did was comedy, bro.
Right.
And like, because I this is the only thing that made everything else okay. Like, we had a depression conversation, all this other stuff, but like, really, it's all out of all the things I can do pretty good. Comedy is the only thing that I just like. I really love like that.
You are very good at it.
Thank you, man.
I say that with,
thank you.
Like, if I could just capture your stage presence and get rid of my nerves because I still get nervous on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
it go away like once you get on stage?
Man, I think it all depends on how well I'm remembering what I was saying. Because there's times where like it's like, oh shit, I forgot, and then I'm stuck on the fact that I forgot this, and I'm thinking about it and I'm in my next bit already.
I got you. Yeah,
and it's like with when we were doing the roast. What I wanted to say about Evan was Evan's taught me a lot about the military.
Okay.
The Army says hoorah, the Army says hoorah, the Marines say oorah, the Navy says hey, and the Air Force says ah! Well, I forgot, I left one of the lines out, and then it was stuck in my head.
Ah, man.
And then I did all right at that roast from what I was told, but it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Gotcha. So that basically, like, it's kind of like a snowball effect of like, if you mess one thing up, you're still going, but then you realize that you messed up,
right? And then I have to try to get out of that again, and that's what makes me still kind of a little nervous. And if I'm doing something new, I'm pretty nervous.
Really? Okay.
So, but your stage presence.
Oh, thank you.
On Saturday when we did that show, or y'all did that show.
Yeah. At East Bank.
Yeah, when I saw you, I was like, okay, cool. I get to see him tonight because I knew better. I knew you were going on stage. There was no way.
It didn't look like I wasn't going on stage.
There was no way that you were going to be in that building and not go up.
Well, I'm glad it happened.
And then when you did go up, I mean, it was fantastic. When I saw the short that y'all posted.
Oh yeah.
And that's the whole credit thing. Yeah. And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's just you off the cuff, right?
No,
that's just crowd.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, bro.
Like, only crowd work that I did was I did it a couple months ago at Tiki.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hey, they keep telling me I need to work on my crowd work. How are you doing? Fuck yourself. And then I went into my jokes. And that was it. That was my crowd work.
Man.
And I just, as good as I am with people, I don't know where my holdup is with trying to do the crowd work.
Do you feel like you have to? Because I know I've talked to some people, and sometimes people feel like they have to put on when they're on stage, and that kind of goes where it's like, because you are a phenomenal people person, like that. How well you are with people, I wish I was that good. Like, I'm okay.
Appreciate that very much.
For sure. And I wish that I used to be not nervous, very shy, and I'd have to warm up to people. And I kind of got out of that, but sometimes I still feel awkward and I still stumble, and sometimes I lose eye contact because I feel like, not like how you talking about on stage when you realize you messed up.
Yeah,
that's how I am with people. Like off stage, like I'm.
That's crazy.
Weird.
That's crazy.
I don't know how that works, but
that's crazy how that works, because it's like we're flip flopped here.
Yeah.
Because I have no problem There's not a stranger I've ever met.
Bro, you're
Yeah.
fantastic.
And my wife tells me, like, when my wife was doing the Restaurant Association stuff, she used to be the president of the LRA, Louisiana Restaurant Association, up here in this chapter.
Talk your shit.
And, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a great title, but the fact of the matter is that she would take me to all of the events because she was like,
I'm sorry.
what? What?
It sounded like I might be hearing this wrong, but it sounded like I was like talking your shit, and he was like, "It's not a great title." You talking about shit? He was like, "It's not that great."
Yeah, it's not. It's just the Louisiana, the president of the LRA in the Northwest chapter.
Well, let me tell you something about black people. When you have a job title that has president and a lot of words behind it,
sounds good. All right. Well, she
yeah.
was the president of the LRA,
That sounds
and talk
scary.
my shit.
Talk your
There
shit.
it
Hell
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
But, yeah, go ahead.
she would take me to everything because
Okay.
she's like, "Look, I got to talk to these people, and I need you to go talk to them and then
Yeah.
introduce me."
Yeah.
And we'd be standing there, and she'd be like, "Them, I don't know what they do. Go find out." And I'd go talk to them, and then she'd come over and be like, "Oh, and this is my wife, Emily, the president of the LRA."
You have the fearless that it takes on stage to be good at crowd work. Like everything that makes you a good people person, I think that's what it takes to do crowd work.
So I just need to figure out how to plug that in.
Yeah, what is your mind state? What gets you to the point to where? Because for me to talk to people now, I've practiced not giving a fuck about my insecurities, how I sound, how I look and shit. I might hate it, but I'm just like, fuck it, because I got to do it. So that's how I got to be able to talk to people in person, like off stage. You know what I'm saying? So, do you have to put yourself in a mindset when you go to talk to people, or you just go?
I just go.
I wouldn't.
And it's
know
crazy
what to do
because
that.
I have to put myself in a mindset to do
go on
comedy.
stage.
Yeah.
You should probably practice not going up there. You should probably go on stage with nothing prepared and just realize that you're gonna fail anyway. So just go up there and see how it goes. Try that when you go on stage. Just go up there and be like, I have nothing to talk about. Let's just have a conversation. And I think if you practice that enough, it'll become familiar and it'll be second nature.
Okay.
Because like I basically got to a point. Because before I get on stage, I'm nervous. And for a minute before I get on stage, if I was too confident, there was one time where I started to get good at comedy, and then I went from being nervous to like, I don't want to say cocky, but very sure of myself. And when I did that one time, all it took was one time, I bombed hard. I was like, oh, I got this shit easy. I'm good. I just go up there and do it.
Where were you at?
This time I think this was when I was at Josh's Lounge, because I went to Josh's Lounge and just did like crowd work, did nothing. And then the guy I used to go to school with, what do you call the guy that's in charge of the band? He's like the MC, but he's the leader of the band. He's
The drum major.
Not necessarily that.
Band director?
They were the house band, and he was the MC of the house band. I'll say it like that.
Oh, okay.
And-
Okay. I was thinking high school band,
Oh, no,
marching
no,
band,
no.
whenever you said that for some reason.
He was, you know,
Is that
Josh's
racist?
Lounge.
That's not racist.
Nah,
is it?
nah.
Okay.
It kind of in the
A little
wrong.
bit, yeah.
In a little,
Sorry about that.
A little bit. It's all right, man. I'm
Yeah.
from Shreveport. I'm
Yeah.
from the South.
Excuse me.
But
But he was the.
yeah, he played the sax. He was in the band, but he was also the house MC of the house band, and they would do open mics.
Okay.
But I would do. This was around the time when I like kind of first started taking it serious. I would go to random places that had open mics or whatever if they wouldn't have comedy. So I would go and just ask, "Hey, can I tell some jokes? I do comedy." And most people would be like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I did it at this one place down the street from my old house on Mansfield Road.
Okay.
Oh well, no, Burt Coons on Mansfield Road side, and I would go to this place and do it. And then that same night, Josh's Lounge downtown would have an open mic, and I went to church with the guy who was in charge of the band. And I told him that I haven't seen him in a minute because he left our church for some reason or whatever. And we were always cool. So I saw him and we talked. And he was like, "Oh, man, how you doing?" I was like, "I do stand-up." He said, "Oh, you want to do something tonight?" He's like, "For sure." So I went up there, killed it. No jokes. Roasted everybody in the room. Some dude thought he was going to say something to me. I roasted him for 5 minutes. And the guy, his name is Eddie Spencer. People listening, they might know who he is. I forgot his band name, but if you look him up, you'll see it. He's a phenomenal saxophone player and singer. He was like, "Man, I like what you're doing. You sound real smart and witty. I want to hear some of your writing. I want to hear some of your jokes, man. Come next time. Come next week with some of your jokes." So I'm feeling like the shit. So I'm like, "All right, bet, man. I'm going to come up here like Dave Chappelle and write some smart shit because he told me I'm smart and my favorite comedian is Dave. I'm going to do this. I wrote some pretty decent shit. It was good thoughts. You know how you write a joke and it's a good thought, but it's
Right.
not fleshed out yet?
Right.
I went up there with good thoughts as if they were finished jokes. And I went up there confident, got on the mic. He did a beautiful introduction. This brother came last week and murdered. Blase, blase, blah. I go up there. I ate dog shit for 10 minutes straight. I had a joke about like something about how I was talking shit about comedians about like if somebody bombs, it's like they go up to tell jokes, but they doing a TED talk.
Right.
That was the joke, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, when I said it, nobody laughed. And the only funny thing I said that night was kind of like right now. This is the TED talk, and people like, well, yeah,
you're right.
You're right
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, bro, it was. I did so bad that night. The night I went a week before, it was like, yeah, you know how people are eager when you do good. They're like eager to work with you,
Right.
But then I failed the next week. He didn't even talk to me. He was
Yeah,
like,
you
all
were-
right, got the mic, and then he had to bring the room back up with music. And it was
You were contagious.
Bro,
Well,
he
you
put
know,
a mask on that night.
You talk about having like good thoughts, but
Yeah.
you know it's not an established thing yet.
Yeah,
I literally had that today.
for real.
There's a joke that I've wanted to work on,
Mhm.
and as childish as it is, it was about shitting in a swimming pool,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
And I've tried to make it work a few times,
Yeah.
and like how delightful it is to have you ever shit in a swimming pool?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense. It does. So my wife and I were talking today, and she said, I don't remember what it was that she said, and I looked at her and said, if you're not shitting in a swimming pool, then you're not taking advantage of your oh god damn it, fuck.
He's bumming right now. No, just
No. What is it? If you're not shitting in swimming pools, then
Yeah.
you're not taking advantage of your Airbnb. And that's what changed it
Yeah.
from being, it's instead of it being a joke, it's a punchline.
Right.
You know what I mean? So instead of
Yeah.
trying to base a whole joke around, and I didn't realize that that's what this is, and now I have the joke,
Yeah.
and there's my punchline.
Right.
So,
So you can
yeah.
essentially, I tell a story to kind of put it in perspective, I guess. You remember, Dave had the first two Netflix specials. And it might have been the third one he did. So he came out and he was like, "Oh, I'm so good. I write jokes
Yeah,
backwards."
so I kicked her in the pussy. Yeah.
So what's crazy about that shit is that's how I used to write jokes. Like growing up, I used to have was like, "Oh, this is funny. How do I get to that?" So that's basically a lot of my joke, and I think that's what really joke writing is.
Okay.
For the most part, is the funny stuff is when you think of something funny, that you know the destination, and the rest of the joke is the car ride to get there.
Yeah, because
You dig what I'm saying?
now that I have my punchline,
Right.
I've got another joke that didn't have anywhere to go, and now I can put the
put
two together.
That's why I
And
love this shit.
I told the joke to I was like, holy shit, that works. I said,
Yeah.
what if I do this with this, and that's at the end? And she's like, that's funny.
Yeah.
And my wife doesn't say that very often.
Oh shit.
It's only when I have something that's pretty decent that she's like, that's funny.
Okay.
And yeah, because like I have that joke about, well, I'm not going to give my jokes away.
Don't give
on
it
here.
away.
I'm still new to this because even though I started in 2018, but
Yeah.
I was with my dad and dealing
Yeah.
with that for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
And I still think that I'm still very fresh at it, and it's fun to figure stuff like that out.
Yeah.
And then it's ironic that we had this conversation that made me realize
Yeah,
that this is this. Yeah.
Do you write your jokes down on something?
Yeah. I type them in my phone.
Good, me too.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that we talk about comedy all the time, but we're so bad with keeping jokes. Because I usually keep everything in my head, and I don't even write the whole joke out. I have the funny stuff, and I know the story. I build a lot of my stuff around stories, so I know even if it's like a one-liner, it's a story. I look at it as a story.
Right.
So if you know a story, you can tell. Like if you watch a movie, you can tell the gist of it and still make it interesting. So
Right.
that's kind of how I look at it. But sometimes I would forget good ideas, and my friends would forget good ideas. So now we kind of do this thing where I try to make sure any of my comedian friends, make sure you're writing it down.
Yeah, I type it in my phone. I've got
For sure.
stuff. It's in my notes, and
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
a lot. And I got to be careful with the way I write some of it down because
Okay.
I'll read it back and I'm like, what?
What the fuck is this? This
The
not
fuck?
fun.
What
Yeah.
is hamburger with no ham? Like what? What?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, well, it was something my son said.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What
Why do
was
they
the
call
con-
them hamburgers when there ain't no ham in them?
That's a good question.
Well, I was high and looked it up, and next thing
Yeah.
I know, I'm 45 minutes in on a ham documentary. So
That should be
Yeah.
a shirt.
it should be a shirt.
That's the best thing about doing comedy. You can put silly shit on shirts and people will buy it.
Yep, they sure
It's
will.
the best, bro.
I've got one that says "I heart bus stuff."
Bus stuff?
Bus.
Like BUS?
Yeah, like because I want camper vans. I like camper buses and
shit,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And one of the channels I watch, excuse me, he ended up with a bus that he was giving away, and one of the shirts he made was "I heart,"
Bus stuff.
and it's the back of a bus.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's silly.
Like novelty T-shirts are one of my favorite.
Speaking of, okay, so novelty T-shirts makes me think of Tom Segura's Air Jordan,
Yeah.
where he's all broke up.
For sure.
And which
That
reminds me, I got a fucking bone to pick with your ass.
Why?
You fucking got me with that fucking Tom Segura thing that you did, man. So when you made your post,
Yeah.
and he said, "Mark, what's up, Mark?"
Yeah.
And I got so excited for a moment,
Oh, man.
for a very selfish reason, and I was like, I'm gonna get my picture to Mark and try
Yeah.
to get him to get Buns to sign it.
Look.
And then it finished playing, and I was like, "This motherfucker."
I'm so sorry.
No, it was fucking fantastic.
Thank you. I mean,
It's
go
funny
ahead.
you say. It's funny you did that.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming you watch YMH.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see the guy that was the drug cartel member, the drug smuggler, white guy named Johnny?
I don't think so. Maybe tell me about
Well,
it. So I might
he's a
remember.
drug smuggler. He went to jail. He's got a YouTube channel where he talks about his time in prison and how he used to sell weed,
I
East
might
Coast
know
to
who you're
West
talking about.
Coast, whatever. But his name is Johnny.
Yeah.
And at the end of an
He
episode,
was interviewed by them.
he was on a YMH.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Talked about going to like Miami and going into Colombia and getting cocaine
And he got raided twice.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking
Neither time he had drugs, just money.
Right.
Yeah. His name is Johnny.
Okay.
And at the end of the episode, Tom tells everybody, check out Johnny's podcast.
For people that don't know, we mentioned it earlier, but check out Johnny's podcast.
And I've actually clipped that, but
Yes.
hadn't done anything with it yet. And when I saw yours, I was like, motherfucker.
Do it still.
I plan on
Please
it.
do
Yeah,
it.
no, I plan on it.
Bro, when I was watching him, because I feel weird. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I consume so much Tom Segura content, just like it all goes back to my love for comedy, because all this bullshit started because we used to go to Hollywood Video a lot when I was younger. And I love movies and shit. I just love TV. For some reason, I'm so glad I was born and I grew up in the 90s.
Right.
Because I used to watch a lot of 70s, 80s, and 90s shit. And I just watched TV. I have so many fond memories attached to television. And we would go to Hollywood Video and I would ask to rent games and movies. And for some reason, I loved Eddie Murphy in his movies. And I got my mom to rent me Eddie Murphy Delirious. And I watched it so much, and I think between that and like a lot of Martin Lawrence stuff, that's kind of where my love for comedy came.
Right.
And then not now, but as I grew older, I would fall asleep to Comedy Central. I would turn it on and just fall asleep and wake up 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and 30 minutes, random people's 30-minute specials would come
Tommy
on.
John again,
That's how I found out about Mike Birbiglia, because I was half asleep.
Birbigs,
I was just hearing like him making fun of his name. I just heard Mike Birbiglia.
Mike Bahuski.
Yeah, it was, bro. So that's like where my love started, like where it kind of developed. So I just love stand up and all of this shit. And I'm trying to remember where I was going with this shit.
We were talking about Tom Segura and how much content you.
So yeah, that's right. So I consume so much content, and if I really like a comedian for whatever reason, because I like Louis Black is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I just consume so much of their shit, and Tom is one of those people. I just like his delivery and his subject matter and his sense of humor.
Right.
So I've listened to all his albums, all his hours. It's 30-minute shit.
You read his book?
I haven't read the book, but it's on my list. I want to buy it.
I got it if you want to borrow it.
I appreciate you. I don't even know when I'll be back to give it back.
Gotcha.
But I'll buy one. But I do appreciate that.
If you're a Tommy fan,
Yeah.
you've heard everything in that book, except for a couple things.
I still.
But
gotta,
yeah, no, it's a good read
for sure. I
Yeah.
definitely. Cause
I'm a huge fan too. So sorry, but anyway.
no, you good. And I love the title too, because that's kind of like I like to be alone. Like I
Right.
like people, but I love
Right.
being by myself. But I consume so much of his shit. And so that's how I ended up seeing. Anytime I love when he's about to drop something and he goes on a podcast tour, because I'm like, yes, it's just
I'm
more.
gonna get 6 or 7 of these. Yeah.
So he went on. I forgot the name of the. No, I don't. It's that sports podcast he was on. I can't think of the name of that shit right now.
Is it with Pat McAfee?
Yeah, the Pat McAfee
Yeah,
show.
Pat McAfee show.
So that's where I got that clip from. I was watching it, and he was telling a story about how he met the Undertaker because he bought his equipment, some workout equipment from somebody.
That's right. I do remember that story.
That?
Yeah.
And he
yeah.
was like,
yeah.
the dude's name is Mark.
Yeah.
So once he was like, "Sup, Mark?" and the way he looked, I was like, "Bro, no, I got an idea." And it's been stewing in my head. So I say that to say this. I feel weird about how much I consume his content because it's just like anybody else I look up to. But on the end, something like when you watch the YMH clips, not the actual show, but the clips from the podcast, at the end they do the little buttons where they're like, watch some more clips. Just do a deep dive like you're studying us. And I felt weird because I'm like, I feel like that person that's being weird watching all this shit.
Right.
And I didn't want to make the video because I didn't want him to be weirded out. Just like as a fan, like I want to be engaged, but I also do the shit.
Did he happen to like it or share it
Nothing
or comment?
yet.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I do have another stuff. I'm talking so
No,
much
go
shit,
for it.
but
Let's go.
I had these things, bro, where like I love this shit so much, and I try not to have no ego about this comedy shit. Like I legit love it. I want everybody to do it. I want everybody to love comedy as much as me. And I had these little things where I celebrate small moments in my journey to do this shit full time. And there's certain small things that happen, and I fuck with YMH so much. I did when he was doing the basketball game against that weatherman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I put together, and I love graphic design shit, so I put together some marketing material on Instagram, just being fan shit. I did a logo flip of the ESPN logo and put YMH as the ESPN logo.
Right.
I did like ESPN Films logo, flipped that into YMH Films, just to do like some marketing material of a 30 for 30 of that basketball game. And I ended up getting Nadav to like it. So he liked that post because there's a YouTube channel named Joke World.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar. Yeah.
So Joke World is so
What's
new.
the deal with airplane food?
He actually got a shirt with that on it now or something. With what's the deal with airplane?
Oh, okay.
peanuts?
Okay, yeah.
But so I kind of got Nadav to like it through them. I think somehow I know since they're a newer podcast, but they're gaining popularity. He still kind of reaches out to up and coming comedians.
Right.
So I sent him the artwork first. He fucked with it and liked it from the DM, and then liked it on my page. Then I think I sent it to Nadav, or something happened to where Nadav seen it. He liked it, so I was like, that's a big accomplishment. Then when Any had his basketball game, and I saw it, I watched it. He won. Well, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoilers. I've seen it. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, of course, you've seen it the same day, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Been out for 20 minutes.
bro, I was watching the car. I stopped watching the car to watch it.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait for this shit to drop.
Yeah.
But I did and I'll show you to you on my phone. I did another logo flip of the Boston Celtics logo, but I drew Any, and I made a cartoon of Any's face on top of it, spinning the basketball, and I put. You remember when
Hot sauce is the
KG?
best? Oh.
No, I did. I should have did that. Oh shit! You remember when KG they won? The Celtics won the finals. I forget what year it was, but he screamed. He was like, "Anything is possible."
Yeah.
So I put anything like Any's name. I put anything is possible in the circle on the Celtics thing, and I had him spinning a what you call it. I changed the shirt color from like red and green to red and green or whatever. But I sent it to him. And he fucked with it. He was like, "Bro, this is dope." And shit, like, I sent it to him. He liked it. We talked about it. I was like, "Do you mind if I, because somebody asked when I posted it, somebody wanted a shirt or whatever." And I was like, "Let me talk to them first. I don't want to just sell the dude stuff."
Right.
And I was like, "Do you mind if I make shirts with it or whatever?" He said, "Bro, I don't mind, but actually, we can talk to the merch guys and see if they want to use it, and then like they'll see if they want to buy it." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." But I never heard anything back, and I never checked back with him because I didn't want to keep hounding him.
Right.
But like we had a whole conversation. He was like, "Nah, this is tight. I appreciate it." Blase, blase, blah. I was like, "Damn, like,
That's awesome.
That was like that shit
Yeah,
made
no,
my
I
day,
mean,
bro.
I feel like it's so weird, like when
Yeah.
you're a fan of something like that,
Yeah.
and you have, as weird as this is going to sound, like that kind of like close connection to it, like that,
shit, my bad.
that kind of close call to it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I am living through your, through your little connection with
sure.
them. I'm like, ooh.
I had the same reaction
I'm
when you
so-
told me about Bert when he
Yeah,
told me shit.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
bro.
That is so crazy.
Bro, we should be best friends. I
We
don't know
should-
why
I
we're
don't know
not
why
best
we
friends
haven't
and shit.
either. Yeah.
Did we just become best friends on
I
this
think
podcast?
I think we did.
I think it
Yeah,
should
Chris,
be
you're
called-
out. Yeah, that's what Chris tried to say. You're my new best friend.
I love your table, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Chris, you're definitely out.
Can you make me one like this?
Absolutely.
All right, bet. I'm gonna put it in the studio that you're gonna help me build.
Okay.
For
Deal.
sure. Also, what were you about to say?
I have no idea.
Oh, also too, bro. Like, in me saying like I don't have no ego about this comedy shit, bro. I want everybody from the city that does comedy to eat so well doing comedy because I think this is the best job ever. And when I go to Austin, bro, if I can do what I want to do, which is meet the people I look up to and work with them, I'm gonna try to get them to come to Shreveport as much as they can. And try to get all y'all to come. I want all y'all to move to Austin, bro.
Until both of my parents are gone, I can't go nowhere.
I feel you.
But I can definitely visit, and I think that if I took it, I'm kind of stuck here. I'm kind of weird in this weird little spot where I'm trying to decide: do I want to try to make this podcast work, or do I want to try to focus on comedy? Because I'm in such a weird spot as far as like I'm new to both, and I don't think that I have the ability personally to do both and be good at both. And that's just I don't know. I just don't think I'm like focused enough. I'm splitting my focus between two different things.
I can kind of understand, but I think that if I can say this, I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think the fact that these are two totally different things, but they're also the same, they're similar, is like to get better at stand-up. It's basically, to me, it's studying the people that you love, finding people that already do it at a higher level that you resonate with. You know what I'm saying? If you could see yourself in say for instance, a Tom Segura or a Bert Kreischer or Louis Black, whoever.
And Louis C.K. is kind of who more I can kind of envision relating with as far as a comedian.
Okay.
Because of he makes fun of himself, he makes fun of his family and the weird shit that they do. Yeah, and he's a great storyteller, which is kind of the way I look at my style of comedy.
Yeah. Because you are really a good storyteller anyway.
I appreciate that.
For sure. So I would say study people like that you, even the people you don't see yourself as, study as much as you can. And I say study, but it's basically just watching and consuming and understanding. And it's not just the stand-ups. I consume like interviews and any kind of information because it's just, I think that's what makes me a better comedian than I was before. You know what I'm saying? Right. It makes me better watching other people do what they do. And seeing them do what they do, I can do me better. Right. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I think that's one aspect, and then just doing it. No matter what, just any open mics you can, and you know so many people, and you probably know a lot of people with, I don't know, what is it called? Like places where there's a microphone, like a karaoke spot.
I mean, I know quite a few restaurant owners, you know, and I know a couple people that own bars, but we've explored, you know, like, you remember the missing link is kind of like, I started that with the owner, and that's when my dad got sick. And fortunately, Glenn took off with it. You know, so Glenn or whoever, you guys kept it going.
Glenn was definitely from what I know, Glenn was he took that over. But what I'm saying is basically you can find a place to do it. And so if you find places to do it, even if it's just tiki, I think you can do both when it's time to focus on that. Like when you can't do either one of these things and you can consume the comedian, that's your study time. And then when you're doing a podcast, you're natural and you can get guests and you can talk. So I think just focus on that, and you don't have to do it when you're not doing it.
Well, you know and one of my hang-ups might be, if you see what's written on top of that board up there, it says, do the shit you should be doing, but you know you're not. Oh, yeah. And it's something that, you know, I heard recently that resonated with me. Right. And, you know, like Saturday after the show, we came here and recorded with the two comics, Levi and Leighton. They came and recorded. And it was one of those things where I could have very easily just been like, oh, no, I'm not set up like I did the last time. And that could be where my holdup is like I'm actually being kind of hard on myself because, like, there's times where, you know, I know that, hey, reach out to this person, try to get another guest in here. Or, hey, tonight's an open mic night, and I don't go. Or, like, Friday night, and, you know, letting myself be talked out of, you know, like going up on stage because I had somebody that needed to come by and get something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, man, stop making excuses.
For sure.
And that's probably where I'm at. Like,
Gotcha.
I mean, obviously I do this podcast because I enjoy doing this.
Right.
Because, I mean, we started this in 2018. I've got 55 subscribers. You know what I mean? And I've put out, I mean, if we go back and count it, I've probably put out 400 videos at this time.
Shit, yeah.
You know, maybe even more than that between the two channels. You know what I mean? Me and Glenn,
Right.
and then this channel.
For sure.
So, I mean, I clearly enjoy it. I mean, look at
Yeah.
all the fucking equipment that I bought because I'm trying to have fun with it and make it.
I think you're being hard on yourself as far as like feeling like you
I think I
can't
have
do both.
to be. But
Well, yeah, you do. You should be hard on yourself, but I think you can do both, and I think you can do both well. It's just I think it takes a community. You know what I'm saying? So for everything to succeed, it takes a lot of us. And Chris and Nick and Joel have pretty much crafted this thing that makes everything around it better. It's like the missing pieces that we needed for the past 10, 15 years.
It was what I was hoping I could try to accomplish when I first got started.
Right.
My dad had a stroke, and I didn't have the. I just didn't have the oomph. Chris has the oomph.
Yeah.
And he's made the connections, and he's done a fantastic job at getting you guys to trust him, getting everybody to trust him.
I still don't trust him. Not as far.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that when I got started, there was there were certain people that they were like that. You say, oh, they asked me to do this, and they're like, don't do that. They don't trust them, or doing something for somebody and you find out firsthand, don't trust them. But yeah, and I'm wondering, and that's one of the other things is like with Chris and Nick and Joel doing that part, should the podcast be my part that I feel to this? Because obviously talking about it, thinking about it, hand in hand, podcasting and comedy do kind of go together.
For sure.
And we don't have another platform. There's that Frequency Interrupted guy, but I just found out about him.
Same,
And is he the direction?
I think
can you go to his studio and get loaded and get drunk and blah blah blah? You can do that here.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I say this right now. This is a very comfortable situation. Every time I come here, it's comfortable. Like
and that's what Chris and them said when they first came over. Is they laughed and joked about, what are we walking into? This is a Shreveport thing. I had met him over Facebook.
Right.
And like, hey,
so y'all had never met in person?
We had never met in person.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to come do my podcast? I heard you're a comedian.
For sure.
Yeah, sure. When? I'm free tomorrow. Okay. And then it was, Saturday, and here we go.
Damn.
And they were talking about, what are we walking into? Is this going to be a shit show?
That's funny.
Is this going to be just some ghetto Shreveport thing? Just run down. Is it one mic between all three of it? And
very real concerns.
Nick said to Chris straight up that if it is, I'm going to leave, and you can just call me whenever you're ready to get picked up. And they walked in and they were relieved. And I've had a few people that have shown up and they're like, okay, I can do this. So I appreciate you saying, because that's one thing that I've tried to make sure this room is. I try to make sure it's clean. I try to make sure it's comfortable. The first thing I wanted to do was make sure the audio was good. I get some quote unquote downvotes because of my video quality, but that's just from people that I know that are like, man, you should spend $500 and get a couple cameras. It's like, you buy it. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. When I start making money, like for real, like the type of money I want to make, I'm the person that'd be like, oh, you need, fuck it, let's, you know what I'm saying? I'll send the shit to you.
Well, when me and Glenn started this, me and Glenn talked about it in front of LOL, and I had been talking about doing a podcast since like 2015. I fell in love with the idea of podcasting when I first found out about it.
For sure.
And 2014, it may have even been 2014. But I wanted to do a hiking one with some friends that I was hiking with back then. And nobody was ever interested in it. And then when I talked to Glenn that day, he was like, I want to start a podcast. So I was like, I want to start a podcast.
It just worked.
And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, it's my podcast. I said, yeah, but it's my man cave. And that's how it got started.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Glenn was like, what do we need? And I was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. And I just started buying all this shit. And he was like, I can't help you. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not the point of this. The point of this is I've been wanting to do this. I want to do this.
Yeah. I think that's what we need. Oh, to answer your question, I feel like, I think you were asking, is that the move? Like, is that the part that you contribute?
Yeah, should that be?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Because we all essentially are playing parts to make all of this grow. And we all
Right.
fuck with each other, man.
Yeah,
and it's
no, we
like,
do.
I think that's how it. That's
Or
what it
we
needs.
should be.
We should be.
Yeah,
but I think
absolutely.
that most of us have our heads on straight about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like I said, I don't have no ego about it.
I think the
shit.
ones that I would want to talk with and push further with
For
have
sure.
their heads on straight about it.
Yeah.
And I think
know where you're at.
I think for me to feel, I guess more of a part of it, I need to put my head on a little bit straighter. Focus a little bit more on doing both. Because it is, it's been. I put an episode out Friday because we had that show Saturday, but before that, it's been like a long time.
Really?
I had a guy come over here and have a fucking seizure on camera.
What?
And we had to call 911.
Did you record it?
Yeah, I've got it all on video, but I can't post none of it, obviously, because the guy doesn't want me to.
He doesn't?
No,
He's
God
not a
no.
comedian,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't. No, he's
Okay.
not.
Yeah, no.
But I
Comedian
mean,
be
and
like,
it's also
yes.
when you see it, it's a little,
Oh,
it's
is
a
it?
little nerve wracking.
Oh,
he locks
that
up, seizes. I mean, yeah,
That's
it was legit. Fucking Evan comes over here last Thursday, passes out in the chair you're sitting
No,
in.
he didn't.
Swear to.
For what?
Got all that on video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you sitting there?
I can cut it and send it to you. Yes, I'm sure he don't mind that at all.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, pouring sweat. Just,
Did you pull the guns out?
What?
Did you pull your guns? Not.
No,
Yeah, those.
no.
Yeah. Did he get scared? From
No,
monsters?
he was chilling,
Yeah.
and I guess he hadn't eaten. It was just a blood sugar drop,
Oh,
and he
damn.
passed out, and
He
started
got
sweating
diabetes?
or whatever.
I'm just playing
But
that.
when we first started recording with me and Glenn, Molly came over here and passed the fuck
What
out.
the fuck is going on?
I have no idea. I thought it was the lights.
Are
I don't
you
know what it
drugging
is.
people in it?
No,
I'm finna say, give me some.
no.
I got a couple people I want to go to sleep.
Yeah, no drugs.
Much
Well, I
about
mean, there's drugs, but
Yeah.
I'm not drugging people.
Damn.
They're smoking their own weed. You know what I mean?
So they just smoking some boof.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, no, I just couldn't believe that when the
Yeah.
dude had the seizure, it threw me off for a couple weeks. And I actually canceled a couple episodes, like a couple people coming over, just because I was like, I was a little weirded out by it.
Yeah, I can.
And I mean, he fucking hit the floor hard as fuck. It was
Real.
nuts. Yeah, it was
he
crazy.
standing up?
No, he was sitting down.
He was sitting down.
He was sitting here in this chair,
Yeah.
and we looked up at the TV, and he just seized.
What?
And his buddy that was with him didn't
Yeah.
know what the fuck was going on. It was weird.
Does he-
Weirded Chris.
Excuse me.
Weirded Chris out bad.
Was he there? Was Chris there?
Yep, me, Chris, Nick, and these two guys that do hot food challenges in Shreveport.
That's probably why his ass passed
Well, we
out.
had just eaten some fucking last dab too on some corn chips.
It was finna be his last fucking day.
Yeah, that fucking last dab was hot as fuck.
Yeah, I bet.
But the guy's okay. We did do another episode. I do have an episode banked
Okay.
that him and old boy came back.
Bet.
So
y'all talk about it.
Kinda, but not really. We allude to it a little bit of something
Yeah.
that happened, but we never really address it.
My dad's calling. Can I
Hey,
answer
go
this real
ahead.
quick? You have a lot of fun being a dad, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
I can
do.
tell.
We do weird stuff. Like my wife is full of little jolly, like songs,
Oh, for real.
and so am I.
Yeah.
There's always a tune in my heart. But I do like cheese with dad.
Cheese with
Yeah,
dad.
just scream cheese with dad, and
Oh,
somebody
shit.
come running and we eat cheese together.
Bro.
Or my daughter will be eating a Lunchable and she'll be like cheese with dad, and I'll turn around, she'll throw a piece of cheese at me.
Bro, that's the cutest shit ever, bro.
Cheese with dad.
I can't wait because I do silly shit like that now with a fucking 3-month-old.
Hell yeah.
Just,
Yeah, of course you do.
bro. I'm really happy about everything, bro.
Yeah.
I'm happy everybody's doing what they're doing. I'm happy to finally be back and do it. I feel like even though I wanted to do it earlier, come here earlier, I feel like this was the perfect time to come.
Fuck
bro.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm excited that you're, I hope to get to see you on, the Kill Tonys,
For sure.
and,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome to see you, like, really get a what's up mark from a YMH.
For
You know what I
sure,
mean?
bro. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I have the feeling that sky is the limit for you.
Thank you.
And I do believe that you're putting yourself in the best position.
Thanks.
And like I told you on that text message when we did your last show
Yeah.
and you were leaving,
Yeah.
I will support you 100% every time I see you. I think you are an amazing talent. I really
My
do.
dog, man. I
So-
appreciate that, bro. Can we
Yeah.
do the motherfucker? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming
For
doing
sure.
this
Thank you for having
episode.
me. Hell yeah.
No.
Do we have a sign out thing? Do you get off
No,
in a particular way?
do you want to tell people where they can see you, where they can find you?
Oh
at?
yeah, you can follow me on pretty much everything at Mark Pugh Jr. or Mark Pugh. Facebook is just MarkPughJr. On Instagram it's MarkPughJr.
I'll put links to everything in the description as well.
Send them to you. I'm moving to Austin after the 23rd of this month. And I'll try to get on any and everything I can out there, and it's just. I got a private gig. I was gonna say come see me, but I can't.
Yeah.
I got a private show on Saturday.
Is that here?
No, it's in
you're
Dallas.
leaving.
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow, but be in Dallas for another week. We'll be doing open mics. Tanisha, she's actually my girl. She's a comedian. That's how we met. She's a stand-up comedian as well. And she's got a show for the homeless in Dallas on Saturday too. So
did you say the homies or the homeless?
The homeless.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The homies that ain't got no home.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's I was gonna do it, but I feel like, bro, I don't want to say because like the way I joke.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I feel like I'd offend.
You're gonna fuck around with it. You dirty mother. Yeah.
It's like I'll say something crazy, but I feel like the homeless people be cool with it. But people who help less fortunate people tend to get more offended than the people.
They get offended for the people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not try to. I'd rather work up to that. But I think she's gonna do well.
Well, if your girl ever wants to come on next
For
time
sure.
you're in
Yeah,
town, I'd
definitely.
love to sit down and chat with her, meet her.
That'd be cool, bro.
I can, if it's a little one, I can convince my wife to play with the baby while we do the episode, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because my wife loves babies.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, she loves the smell of babies.
Really?
And oh yeah.
Just the whole.
She's a mom.
Yeah, for
and our
sure.
kids aren't
Yeah.
our kids aren't babies no more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she'll she'll get around a baby and be like, she'll look at me and I'm like, no, you better divorce me and pay me alimony and then go start you another family.
Yeah, you better adopt or something.
I ain't adopting shit.
No, she got to adopt it.
She has to leave me and then she can adopt. Because I don't want no more kids.
I feel
I'll
that,
take grandbabies.
Yeah.
And I'll help a friend out in need from time to time.
That's
but
it.
Fuck that.
Ah man, did you get the snip? Or are you gonna get the?
No, I haven't. But we
plan
just.
on it?
I'd like. I don't have. 42 years old. Don't have insurance.
42.
Yeah.
Bro, you look amazing for 42.
I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. I feel like my hair going away, but your shit just full, bro.
Man, I told you quit wearing hats.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I really appreciate it.
For sure, bro.
You guys
Okay.
like, subscribe, follow him, check him
Hell
out.
yeah.
If you get a chance to see him, I'm not going to say what most people will say in these situations, but a very, very, very funny man.
Thank you, man.
Mark,
Come see me, baby.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Hell yeah, love you too. We got that thing. Yes, sir.